Welcome to EMAC Regional 2021 podcasts. The show is dedicated to present research results of Polish scientists as authors or co-authors of papers presented during the Regional Conference of European Marketing Academy. The regional conferences are aimed to attract researchers interested in marketing issues, in changing and growing markets, and regarding a regional perspective. The project has been supported by the Polish National Agency for Academic Exchange under the program Welcome to Poland. My guest is Dr. Marcin Awdziej, co-author of paper presented at EMAC Regional 2021 conference under the title Does the Type of a Third-Party Organization, a so-called TPO, endorsement impacts consumer product quality perception and purchase intent? So, Marcin, could you elaborate what is this third-party organization endorsement, and is it similar maybe to a celebrity endorsement?
Hi, Jolanta. The third-party endorsement, let's call it TPO because it's such a long name. It is a form of expert endorsement that involves a third party evaluating and assessing a product of a service. So this is, for example, it could be also understood as advertisement, which includes a positive evaluation of a product or service which is provided by a specific external organization to a company, which is perceived by consumers as independent of an advertiser. So we can say that basically the mechanism is similar to celebrity endorsement, but this is not, exactly the same. Of course, if the organization, this third party itself, is well known, it can be to some extent compared to a celebrity, because many of those organizations, they very often enjoy very wide recognition because they've been, in the public sphere or the market for many years. So, but as such, and I think that they impact results from the very similar, sources when it comes to celebrities, because those organizations, through what they do for many years, they get certain expertise. They are associated by consumers with credible knowledge in some areas.
So, for example, it could be like Polish Dental Association supporting.
It could be something like this. I think better.
Toothpaste.
Probably is. I think the best illustration, which I know, it's Stiftung. There is this German organization which has been on the market for dozens of years. Stiftung Warentest. It is an independent organization which has been devoted for many years. For evaluation, independent evaluation of commercial products on the market. They publish on magazine. So I think this is very good illustration. And the TPO could be scientific institute. It could be independent association for something like you said, dental association or general practitioners office or something like this. So. In fact, this is it. So they have expertise in a certain area, which was built consistently, and they enjoy recognition. Yes, social recognition.
So this is only one type of TPO endorsement, or we can find many?
Yeah, well, we have in fact many different types. In fact, many. 3 of them are identified and used probably most often in marketing communication, especially brand communication. That's 3. The first is when the product is ranked against competing products in its class along one criterion or more criteria, which means that the organization conducts objective external ranking. The second one is a seal, which is awarded or provided by this TPO, which means that, for example, the product undergone some rigorous analysis by the organization. The organization approves it, gives a sign of approval or quality in the form of a seal. So there's a certain graphic format, and also the third one, which is you can find on the market. This is where there is subjective and non-comparative statement about one product or its attributes. And for example, representatives of TPO state that this is a very good product or includes something which is very beneficial. Yes, or it's endorsed, for some group of customers of some application. So this is it. So basically, there are three.
Is this a popular research topic? The impact of third-party organization endorsement?
It has become quite recently quite popular, area of investigation. So far, the existing studies examine the effect of this TPO endorsements on perception of the products and brands. So this is probably the most important area or stream of research. But when it comes to the influence of TPO endorsement on product perception and purchase intent, the results are not, unfortunately, they're not very conclusive. So there is a mixed body of evidence. And experimental studies, one of the possible reasons why this is so is because most of the studies used to be experimental, and they included hypothetical brand and hypothetical third-party organization. And these type of studies do not confirm this positive impact of that endorsement. On the other hand, those, in fact, very limited studies, the limited number of studies which used existing products or brands or existing known TPOs, they indicated that there is a positive impact on attitudes towards brands, this type of endorsement, or also purchasing intent. So despite, this is this interesting case, scientific research says one thing. However, the marketing practice, which is very well established and extremely popular worldwide, suggests that this is a very beneficial thing, and TPO endorsement, like using logotype of the organization on the packaging, may positively affect the sales. And the consumers, in many different studies, declare that this is very important for them to see something like this, and they trust it in general.
Yeah, it could be like reason to believe, in advertisement.
Yes, exactly. It's like reason to believe, and especially when you pair the product well with the TPO. It turns out that this is very encouraging, and also some quite recent studies, like Dean and Biswas, indicated that such endorsement in advertising generates higher advertising effects. For example, compared to celebrity endorsement. So, for example, if you have a baby product, and then hypothetically you can use it, and you have a third party, like specialized organization, independent, which deals with research on baby products or supports, pediatric organization of doctors, pediatrician, and this one gives approval, endorses the product. So this is much more effective compared to celebrities. I don't know, the actress who just recently got a baby, or lack of endorsement whatsoever. So this means that it can be very very useful for companies and for the brands to use it in general. Although, as I said, there is a mixed scientific evidence.
Okay, so there is a place for other researchers. Yeah, so
I think so. I think the most important problem with the research, which you find, is, as I said, there is hypothetical brand and hypothetical TPO, which is, I think, yes, so scientifically it may sound, from the point of view of methodology and so on, but this is, in fact, that's the main weakness. How can people evaluate something they don't know or something they don't care?
Okay, so what was the main goal of your research, and what kind of brand you have used?
Okay, we were interested in finding out whether a specific form of a TPO, so this is also very unique for our study, that we have all three forms taken. Most of the studies used to take just one. Whether a specific form of a TPO endorsement would impact consumers' interest in advertisement, the perception of product quality, and what type of purchase intent it would generate. Yes, we used in our study a known product and a known real third-party organization. We used the Institute of Mother and Child, IMC. This is a very well recognized research and medical services institution in our country. which was many years ago founded to solve health-related and social problems of mothers and children, specifically small children. One of its core activities is giving opinion and conducting research on products for infants. So the process of opinion giving in IMC is and awarding recommendations is very rigorous. It's commissioned and paid by concrete companies, but it's very rigorous and follows very strict procedures for testing. For example, this includes very extensive assessment of documentation, product tests, and very strict quality protocols. We chosen also Żywiec, which is Poland's most recognized and leading brand of mineral water. So, and in fact, I think there was this organization. They had relationship at the end of the day.
Okay, so what research methods did you use in that study?
Okay, that was experimental research. We had 90 respondents. The sample was convenient, unfortunately, but we conducted random division into 3 subgroups of the same size. Before participating in the experiment, the participants drew lots with number of advertisement. There were 3 of them, so 1, 2, 3, which they later watched. And 3 versions of advertisements. We prepared 3 versions of this ad with the existing product and existing TPO. In the first version, there was advertising including a recommendation by the TPO in the form of product quality scoring. And the second one, it was in the form of subjective statement, so there was description. And the last one, there was just a seal. All the ads were visually the same. There was existing mineral water poster, which we took. We changed the slogan depending on what type of TPO we used. The position of the message was the same, optical equilibrium point. So this was made. This was how it was used. So yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So what did you find?
We found that the most effective form of TPO was the one with scoring. Advertisement with scoring was evaluated highest, much better than the seal, and the worst evaluation was awarded for the one with the descriptive statement.
Okay.
When it comes to the purchase intent, also the advertisement with TPO in the form of scoring generated the highest willingness to make a purchase. Also, the advertisement with scoring was found to be the most interesting. But I must stress here that those differences was not very high. In fact, they were not very significant. So what we found, however, that there was influence of perceived product quality and purchase intent. We obtain a statistically significant result when it comes to the relationship between the perceived product quality and the purchase intention, which we recorded with the surprisingly advertisement with the statement, the one which was the least evaluated. So in general, I can say that it doesn't matter at the end of the day, at least from our study, what type of TPO endorsement is used. So there are different formats which we included into the study. However, there were no observable differences when it comes to the results. So we did not confirm the influence of specific format on the perception of product quality or purchase intent. I think one of the reasons why we didn't find any differences was because we use highly recognized brand of water. 100% of respondents knew the brand. And also they had very high purchase intent. We measured this, and half of the participants bought it at least once in a month before the study was conducted. Also, the TPO which we used had very, very high level of recognition, and also it enjoyed extremely good reputation among the participants. We can hypothesize here that the lack of influence of various forms of TPO is or could be characteristic when you have well-known and a very valued brand by consumers. It is also possible that for less known or recognizable brands, a TPO endorsement can generate much stronger positive effects. So in this case, the brand was extremely well known, the TPO was very well known, and the results were like this. We assumed, of course, based on literature, that TPO endorsement affects the perceived quality of the product and the intention to buy. And we also aim to check whether the form of TPO differentiates this effect. We are unable to confirm these relationships at statistically significant levels, although which confirmed the fact when we expected the highest quality scores were awarded to the product after seeing an advertisement indicating high quality confirmed by independent institution. In the case of the impact of the perceived quality of the product on the purchase intention, the results obtained were in line with the previous studies. So this is what we found confirmatory. And the strongest relationships were observed in the group of respondents exposed to advertising with description of the recommendation in form of plain text, no seal, no assessment or any product features. These may be because of the perception of such neutral statement as most convincing in the case of the specific institution with the medical background. So,
what do you think? Could using a different product that is probably more engaging could produce different results?
I do believe so. So then if you have something, there was mineral water, which is not a very involving product. And so I think, if one compares, this is worth investigating, whether the highly involving product, which requires more, I think which usually triggers more information processing by, more careful processing information by consumers, versus something which is less involving, that would be very, very useful. And also, I think, maybe if we use lesser known brands, also the brand awareness factor may be very important in this case. So if one compares well-known brand versus lesser known brand, that also would provide some more clarity. Of course, our study did not show any differences when it comes to significant differences between different forms of TPO. And the effects of that endorsement. But in general, from practical point of view, using TPO endorsement is very, very beneficial. Probably it would be more beneficial for lesser known brands, but it's also, I think it is very useful for those which are recognized and liked. So in general, the form of endorsement does not have any significant impact of the effects of such advertisement. So this suggests that whatever type of endorsement you use, as long as you have it, this is going to be good for you.
Okay, thank you very much for interesting conversation and being a part of this podcast project.
Thank you very much.
You are listening to EMAC Regional 2021 podcast, and my guest was Dr. Marcin Awdziej, who presented the paper under the title "Does the type of a third-party organization endorsement impacts consumer product quality, perception and purchase intent?"